I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too. When we feel like singing, we invite some friends. We'll have some fun and laugh a lot, and hope it never. I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too. I dream of mountains, I hear them calling me back home. I hear them calling, calling, come back home.
Far from the reach of the city, where mountains give way to the sky, this is where I long to wander, watching the seasons go by. Nothing could feel more exciting than being there ready to roam. No place could be more inviting, it's calling me come back home. Let me stand in the heart of a redwood grove, lightly sprinkled with fresh white snow. May I just catch a glimpse of a mountain top, awash with alpenglow. Let me live out a dream on Yosemite Stream, where my wilderness joys abound, to discover the truth of eternal youth upon that sacred ground. Nature awakens my senses when I walk among whispering trees, smelling the sweet scented cedar, breathing the crisp glacial breeze, hearing a soft creature chorus under a star-sparkled dome. Now who will preserve it all for us, so we can come back home? Let me stand in the heart of a redwood grove, lightly sprinkled with fresh white snow. May I just catch a glimpse of a mountain top, awash with alpenglow. Let me live out a dream on Yosemite Stream, where my wilderness joys abound, to discover the truth of eternal youth upon that sacred ground. High flowery meadows, sheer canyon walls, huge boulder dams, lacy white waterfalls. Let me stand in the heart of a redwood grove, lightly sprinkled with fresh white snow. May I just catch a glimpse of a mountain top, awash with alpenglow. Let me live out a dream on Yosemite Stream, where my wilderness joys abound, to discover the truth of eternal youth upon that sacred ground. I dream of mountains, I hear them calling me back home. I hear them calling, calling, come back home. I dream of mountains, I hear them calling me
on the eve of the Grammys.
And we are with one of the nominees for Best Recorded Children's Album for the Grammys this year, Jonathan Sprout.
Jonathan Sprout, welcome to KidzMusic.com.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
And a hearty congratulations to you, Jonathan.
I'm honored. Thank you.
And I would say a hearty congratulations, just to top you.
Okay. All right, I'm not going to add a third hearty.
And Jonathan has been honored for his album American Heroes 3.
Yep.
And you know what I was going to ask you as well, congratulations on that, by the way, is how did you come up with the initial idea of doing the American Heroes concept?
I was ready to transition from singing regular kids music into something that had sort of a different niche to it. Mm-hmm. I had been reading a lot of books by Stephen Covey, mm-hmm. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and I just was at a place where I wanted to teach something, and I hit upon this idea of writing about heroes that maybe kids didn't think of as heroes. There was an article that had come out in the Philadelphia Inquirer, where I live in Philly, and kids all around the country had been asked, "Who's your hero?" And the top 10 list of the heroes was predominantly cartoon characters and athletes who were less than heroic. And I remember thinking, well, Stephen Covey wouldn't say this. He'd probably think Ben Franklin should be on the top 10 list. Mm-hmm. And I've always loved reading biographies, and I figured this is it. I'm gonna try to learn a little bit about these people and see if I can write songs about them. I don't know what it's like to write a biography song, but I'll try it and see if it works. And it was a total guess at first. I had no idea if it was going to work, but the first one went well, and so I was able to keep making them.
Do you find a lot of schools utilize your CDs?
Yes.
For educational aspects, because within the concepts reviewed, quite all of them actually have all of your albums, and the story really is the story. But you find a unique way of shedding light on these characters as well.
Yeah, I'm finding that there's so many things you could say. I mean, you could make an album of songs about John Muir. You really could. Yeah. A lot of people might not even know who he was, but he's known as the father of our national park system. He's often been called the greatest Californian, mm-hmm. and thanks to him we have national parks. And there are so many different sides to every person, and when you get under their skin and do the research, you realize that you could write the song as John Muir, you could write the song about John Muir, you could write the song to John Muir. There are many different approaches that you could take, and a lot of different ways. You could write about one day maybe when he was walking through the Yosemite Valley. That could be the whole song. Or you could write a song about a letter that he sent to Theodore Roosevelt, encouraging him President Roosevelt to establish a national park system. So there's just so many different angles, and it's kind of cool. As I got to writing more of these songs about heroes, I realized the sky is the limit as to how you can write a song about a person.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you've also you have taken these songs into the schools, right?
Yes.
Presented them for the kids, and
yeah.
You follow up when you do the performances, the assemblies, or whatever the presentation. You follow up with some kind of a workshop or something that you interact with the students at the schools with these things.
I make that available. Most of my interaction with schools is in the concert, mm-hmm. Which includes a lot of discussion. So it's sort of like a partial storytelling, mostly performing of the songs.
Right.
And what I'll do is talk for maybe 4 to 6 minutes before each of the heroes about who the person was, why the person is considered a hero. I like to tell an interesting story, something that a lot of people don't know. Something, maybe a hurdle that this person overcame, or something that normalizes them, that makes them identifiable to the kids. And then I sing the song about them. And that is mostly what I do. I mean, I do offer songwriting workshops, but that's often a different thing because you can write songs about anything.
Yeah, but you give materials to the teachers. They can follow up with a lot of learning guides and teacher guides afterwards.
I do. There's a study guide. Exactly. Yeah.
Good.
And I have links at my website to biographical information so that they can use that as a springboard.
Tell us about the actual recording process of this album. You were talking, we talked with Jimmy Hammer a
Right.
little earlier, and we had this symbiosis of the creative process that you guys had.
It took 38 months to make this album. I spent 12 months researching. I had to learn all about everybody before I even began writing the song. And while I was doing that, I was just writing musical snippets. I'd get up in the morning and I'd go down to the studio and I'd make something that I thought sounded good musically. And I would catalog it. And I had about 50 or 60 of those. And then I would start to learn about the heroes and write them. And I would think, well, this little snippet might work with John Muir. This one might work with Wilma Rudolph, who was a runner, you know. And I remember when I told that to Dave Kanoy, and he thought, you're crazy. That's no way to write a song. But it did sort of work. And I wrote the songs, and then I brought in Dave Kanoy, who tore half of them apart.
Sure.
As any good writer will do. And we rewrote actually maybe 7 of the 10 or 11. And then we brought him to Jimmy Hammer, and he tore them apart too. So whenever you look at on the credits, whenever you see that the 3 of us wrote a song, it means it got torn apart by Dave and then by Jimmy.
Oh, that's great.
So
wonderful.
Every once in a while, there's one that I wrote that they both approved of. Like one of the ones that we're going to do today is a song called Doctor about Elizabeth Blackwell. That made it through the Kanoy filter and the Hammer filter.
All right. Made you feel good to get through those 2 filters.
Yeah, you know, it was a real blow to my songwriting ego to do that. But the whole time I'm going through it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm a songwriter, but more important, I'm an executive producer of an album, and I want these songs to be the best possible. Ultimately, it doesn't matter who writes them. It doesn't matter who records them. It doesn't even matter who does the vocals. It's got to be, I want these heroes to be given the best song possible.
There you go.
And so I had to put on my executive hat, overriding the songwriter stuff all the time. And, you know, it was hard, but that's what you got to do.
And there, look what happened. You're nominated for a Grammy from that. And being acknowledged by your
Do you have a favorite
peers.
song on the album? I know they're all your children, but
They are, John. Just don't tell the rest of them, okay? Milton Hershey, the first song on the album, Chocolate King.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I had written. That's one that I wrote, and I knew Dave wasn't going to touch it because it was good. and Dave came in and ripped it apart, and made it better. So Dave and I wrote that one, and we were down in my basement in my studio, and he had one of those manic moments when he just knew how the song was going to go. And I don't know if you know Dave, but he just starts dancing around, and he grabbed the microphone and he starts singing like Rod Stewart into this thing.
I can see Dave doing that.
And the words are just flooding out.
Yeah.
And believe and never stop. Keep your eyes on the mountaintop, you know. And it was just perfect, and I kept that recording. And when I went into the studio, I tried to imitate Dave.
Oh, fantastic.
And the funny thing is, we're going to sing that song here today, and Dave is trying to imitate me imitating Dave to sing the song with me. So at one point, it wasn't working. I said, Dave, I'm trying to imitate you. You don't have to sing like me. Just sing like you.
That's great. Yeah.
But that's my favorite song. I just love the way all the ingredients came together.
Hard work, clear vision, a stubborn refusal to fail. Flight broke, but not broken. How does a dream prevail? Hope's hurting, but it's far from gone. Sometimes you gotta keep keeping on. Believe and never stop. Keep your eyes on the mountaintop. A little bump in the road doesn't mean a thing. To the Chocolate King, success tastes sweeter when shared with another kid. You feel satisfaction the way Mr. Hershey did. someday becomes the man whose claim to fame is he gave it away. Believe and never stop. Keep your eyes on the mountaintop. A little bump in the road doesn't mean a thing. To the chocolate king, believe and never stop. Keep your eyes on the mountaintop. A little bump in the road doesn't mean a thing. To the chocolate king, the chocolate king, to the chocolate king.
You become like what you focus your life on. You know that.
Yeah,
and now that
sure.
we're in children's music, it makes your life better.
Well, it has. It makes us, keeps us younger. It's
And-
a blessing being in this.
And when you focus your life on these heroes, you
Yeah.
can't help but let them rub off. I mean,
Yeah.
I really honestly feel like, in a bizarre kind of way, I'm not saying that I'm channeling them, but I'm just thinking about what John Muir would say or do
Oh, yeah.
has improved my life.
Oh, he's really close in my life. I know because I go up into the Sierra every year. We
Yeah.
backpack, and you know, he's just. I mean, he's a god to
Yeah.
me. You know,
Yeah.
it's and like you said, you could do a whole album of tree hugger music, just bound around John Muir. You know,
Yeah.
which would be fantastic.
Good Dr. Coleman arrives out of breath, examines the girl, turns to Mama to say, Wilma's so sick, she may not walk again, but we must have hope anyway. At 12 years she's healthy and finally walking. Once and for all, free at last of that grace. All over town you can hear people talking. Wilma has run in a race. Sweet Grace, she can't stop running. After all she's been through, can't stop running. Golden dream come true, she can't stop running. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what Wilma loves to do. Coach Temple trains her to work on her stride. She runs for the Tennessee Tiger Bell team. Soon she is confident, glowing with pride. Hard on the heels of a dream, it seems she can't stop running. After all she's been through, can't stop running. Golden dream come true, she can't stop running. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what Wilma loves to do. Inside that stadium in Rome, at the Olympics far from home, she calmly waits for the starting gun. A flash of lightning down that track, the others only see her back, and so the goal is won. Wilma loves to run. Tennessee tornado. After all she's been through, can't stop running. Golden dream come true, she can't stop running. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
listen, we don't want to. We know you're performing, and you got to get over to the stage. But thanks for taking some
Jonathan,
time with
thank
us.
you so much. Yeah.
Great guys.
And KidzMusic.com. That's where you find Jonathan Sprout and many other places as well.
Yeah.
And what's your website again, Joe?
JonSprout.com. JonSprout.com.
I have an H in my name, by the way, John Wood. So obviously I'm better than him.
By one letter.
By one letter.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Jonathan, thank you.
Thanks, guys. My pleasure.
I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too. When we feel like singing, we invite some friends. We'll have some fun and laugh a lot and hope it never. I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too.